Did you know that Disneyland transforms into a winter wonderland every holiday season, attracting millions of visitors eager for magical experiences? In this week's episode, you'll discover everything you need to know about the holidays at Disneyland in 2024, from festive attractions to special events that make this season unforgettable.
You're listening to Castle Talk Radio. We're live on the airwaves with Becca and Jessica. Now let's jump into this week's episode.
Okay, Jessica, many guests struggle to navigate Disneyland anytime, but especially during the busy holiday season. And they often miss out on key experiences or they didn't realize something was offered. So I think today we need to cover those essential tips for planning your visit, the must-see decorations and attractions, and discuss some of the special dining options and things that happen over the holidays. Plus, there is a brand new attraction opening this holiday season that you are not going to want to miss. Okay, Jessica, the holidays, are you ready for them?
I'm so excited. It's the most magical time of year at Disneyland Resort.
It is. So, for those that don't know, Disneyland celebrates the holidays every year for nearly 2 months. And Jessica, what dates can guests experience the holidays at Disneyland this year?
Yeah, this year it's a little bit later. So they start November 15th and then they run through January 6th of 2025.
Yes. So it starts a week later. I think that was smart of Disney to avoid that Veterans Day weekend, because that was always it was so busy every time. Of course, the holidays, we know that they go out on decorations, but we have some things that have become traditions for a lot of people when it comes to the holidays at Disneyland. And so what are some of those returning favorites that people love?
Well, one thing for sure is it's a small world holiday that lights up on the outside and it seriously lights me up inside. That brings such a beautiful holiday atmosphere. And I'm trying to talk my dad into coming down and joining with me just so he can ride the holiday version. So the whole thing is redone inside and outside with a holiday theme. And it's simply magical.
Okay, but the real question about this is, Jessica, does it still just play that song over and over and over, the It's a Small World song?
Sort of. Yes and no. There's some mix-up and I guess a mashup of holiday tunes. So keep your ear out for that, especially the part when you're going under the sea.
Okay, so what else? What else are we experiencing that is a tradition now?
Well, if you've ever seen anyone's pictures from Christmas time, you've probably seen a picture with Sleeping Beauty's Winter Castle in the background, which is covered in snow and icicle lights. So you can see the castle lighting each night. They have a specific time where the lights come on, but then after that, it'll be on all night. So even if you miss that little moment, make sure that you stop by there day and night because it's so beautiful. And as a backdrop to that castle, you can see Believe in Holiday Magic's fireworks on select nights during the holiday season, which has projections, fireworks. It's not only at the castle. That's a great spot to watch, as well as It's a Small World and Over by Rivers of America. So beautiful holiday music and features some of your favorite Disney movies in with that as well. If you're looking for another nighttime show over at California Adventure Park, you'll want to see World of Color Season of Light. So another just holiday twist on that traditional World of Color show. And, you're going to want to stay up late almost each night that you're there because these shows are only once a year and you don't want to miss them.
Right. They're amazing.
We have even more things that are returning. Let's go over those really quick, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Haunted Mansion Holiday. That's been around since Halloween time. Then we also have a Christmas Fantasy Parade. That's been around my entire life, almost. And Viva Navidad, which is my favorite show, daytime show, during the holidays, but there's some changes this year. Oh.
Okay. What is that, Jessica? Because,
So
I mean, it's my favorite too.
first, Viva Navidad is a street performance over at California Adventure Park, and they typically show it several times a day, and there's live dancers and music, and it is just super exciting. And this year, hidden in, kind of the fine print of a Disney Parks blog article was that Viva Navidad will not be showing every day. And on days when it doesn't show, there will be a little kind of cavalcade there, showcasing some Disney characters in their holiday attire. So now I want to see both, but I also don't want to miss Viva Navidad. And you're going to want to make sure that you can be at California Adventure on a day that they're showing that, because it is so fun and nobody can stop dancing on the sidelines. It's just upbeat and energetic and really celebrates the heritage of Southern California.
Definitely. And for those wondering, well, how can I make sure I'm there? We don't have the schedule of what that will be. I would imagine it will be on on weekends, and then probably maybe a couple nights in the evenings or something. But the entertainment schedule usually is up at least 2 to 3 weeks in advance, whereas the park hours are 6 weeks in advance. So just kind of look into that and see if it's listed. And we did an episode with the Disneyland app where we show you how to check if it's actually going to be there that day or not and what times.
Yeah,
Okay,
and on the off
Jessica.
days, the characters that you might be able to see is Mirabel from Encanto and Miguel from Coco. So there'll still be
Two
some
of my
fun.
favorites. Okay,
Perfect.
so we went through all the stuff that is the same, but we're calling this the Guide to the Holidays at Disneyland in 2024. So what's new at Disneyland in 2024? And let's throw in that new attraction that's opening.
Of course, Tiana's Bayou Adventure opens the day that holidays kick off. And this is a new attraction. This is really cool because as we're recording right now, they're having Magic Key holder previews. And I haven't watched any of the spoilers from either Walt Disney World, which this attraction opened earlier this year, or Disneyland. And although I haven't watched any spoilers, what I'm hearing is making me really excited. Do you know what I'm alluding to?
Yes, the people that have done both are saying that Disneyland's is better because if you don't know, a lot of times Disney World's rides are longer or bigger because it has more space, but it has more gaps in it. So they're saying it's just like nonstop story in Disneyland's version, where there are some gaps in Disney. It's nonstop in Disneyland. Make sure I said that right. And there's some gaps in the Disney World version. So we just had a discussion recently with our friend Leslie from Trips with Tykes about how it's kind of weird because both her and I prefer the Disney World vehicles. Like they're higher up, they're easier getting in and out, you don't get quite as wet. But Disneyland's getting the better ride experience, it seems, from what people that have done both are saying.
Okay, and how we know about ride vehicles, in case you have missed the past few years of Disney Parks info, is that Tiana's Bayou Adventure is a new attraction was built in the existing Splash Mountain infrastructure. So if you're familiar with that attraction, that's going to be the same kind of path and ride vehicle, but a completely different story. And that is a holiday present enough. I'm so excited to go on that attraction and experience the Bayou in Bayou Country, because it's also renaming Critter Country into Bayou Country.
Definitely. Okay, so with Tiana's Bayou Adventure opening, we used to be able to meet Santa Claus right there in Critter, which is now Bayou Country, in Critter Country, over by Winnie the Pooh and stuff, right where you exit Tiana's. And so is that still the case this year, or is that changing?
Yeah, that was such a cute spot, but we're getting something new. So if you want to meet Santa Claus at Disneyland Park, you're going to want to go over to the Fantasyland Theater. And they've done a few things in Fantasyland Theater since it's not been showing Mickey and the Magical Map in like regular productions. They had Lion King there a while ago, but it's kind of an empty spot. But they've been able to utilize that space really well for like Pixar Fest. So for the holidays, you can go over there and meet Santa Claus, and you can also do cookie decorating. Santa Claus is still available at California Adventures Redwood Creek as well, but I'm picturing over at Fantasyland Theater a lot of decorations, a lot of stations, a lot of different things that you might be able to do, backdrops for photos. I hope that it impresses me as much as they did during Pixar Fest, which I wasn't expecting much from that in Pixar Fest, and they really amped it up.
Definitely. Yeah. I think this is a great change. So they do have like cookie decorations at Redwood Creek Challenge Trail too, but there's not as much space to do it with how it's set up. And so I think like there's just so much space there at that Fantasyland Theater. I think this is going to be great.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, and I hope they do it justice because it can be something that we can really love and expect to enjoy. But of course, if they want to like make an expansion of Fantasyland in the future and put a new attraction there, I am okay with that as well. But for this
Okay.
holiday season, that's what
Yeah.
we're getting.
Okay, Jessica. So, of course, the thing we haven't talked about yet, which a lot of people love, is food. Food at Disney, that's a big thing, and especially during the holidays. So, one thing I love that Disneyland does is we have food festivals at California Adventure, which I think is great over there. And we have what's called the Festival of Holidays. So, tell us a little bit about what you can expect with that.
Festival of Holidays is kind of an all-encompassing thing. We talked about Viva Navidad, and that actually falls under Festival of Holidays, but it's really a celebration of cultures and diversity throughout the holiday season. So they have different food booths, and you'll be able to taste test different holiday offerings throughout the parade corridor, performance corridor at California Adventure Park. So in the past, I'm thinking like various flavors of tamales. We have all kinds of treats, all kinds of churros that are holiday decorated. It feels like usually there's a lot of treats more so than food. But we'll get a lot of foods that are kind of smaller sharing portions as well.
Good.
And with that, because there's so many things to try, you can purchase what's called a sip and savor pass. And that means you're just prepaying for your food options in either a 4-pack or an 8-pack. And then you can use those to get food and drinks, but they have to be non-alcoholic. And you'll pay like a flat fee for each food item rather than paying the individual fees. So sometimes it works out that you save money, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not one to worry too much about the price point. I'm more so looking for the convenience of using that
Yes.
sip and savor pass. But I definitely plan for at least a meal to taste test different things.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it. Okay, so we have the Festival of Holidays, which also, if you're over in that area, they have performances with that as well. And the one that I love and I try and catch every year now is Mostly Kosher. I love their
Mhm.
performances and they really get their crowd involved. So check that out. Now let's move on to the holiday treats because we know Disney has tons of treats and the holidays are no exception. So, Jessica, what kind of treats do we normally see during the holidays?
One of the most popular ones is the gingerbread cookies, and they have various ones, but like the one that's shaped as a gingerbread man is the best tasting one, in my
Yeah,
opinion. Super soft, really delicious, and they come on like a cardboard
yeah,
background plate type of thing. So those are really good to grab for some friends and use for gift giving as well because it's already wrapped up really cute.
yes.
But another one is even more like prestigious, and this is the candy cane of Disneyland. So I think the tradition and the influencer culture makes the candy canes even more than they are,
Yeah.
because they're so limited, right? So we gotta get the candy canes.
They're limited. They usually don't start doing them till later in the season.
Mhm.
So for those that don't know, these are hand-pulled candy canes. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll put some overlay of video I took last year of the process. And I think that's the fun part. I like to just watch them making them. It's easiest to watch them on the day they're doing California Adventure, I find, because the windows are a little more easily just easy to see through. But yeah, it's really cool, but they are 20 something dollars and they taste like a candy cane. They are
Yeah,
big
and they're
and
giant.
they're thick, but they are very
Yeah.
fragile as well. There's no return, so if it breaks, they'll bubble wrap them for you. This tells you how fragile these things are, but they're still a candy cane when it comes to it. So it's definitely just a tradition thing and a influencer thing and a limited edition type thing. I also find it's easier to get them on the days that you are at California Adventure than at Disneyland, by the way, as well. Okay, Jessica, so there's lots of foods. We know there's going to be probably seasonal churros. There's going to be, seasonal foods throughout the resort on top of the Festival of Holidays. But you always offer something, and we're going to put that as a freebie for people on Castle Talk Radio that they can get. As soon as the guide comes out, you make a better one, a better
Yeah.
foodie guide, because you always have it where people can figure out their top like priorities. So, yeah, talk about
I mean,
these.
there's like 30 some places to eat at Disneyland. Like if you're counting all the, I don't know, I could be totally wrong, could be 50. At California Adventure, there's even more when you're counting all the carts. So imagine each of those gets a completely new menu. That's basically what they're doing, is like everything is being added on. So they have their regular food menus and then they're basically doubling the food offerings at Disneyland Resort. So there's so much to choose from. And you really do need to pick in advance like what is most calling to you. And I help you organize that. So you can go to Castle Talk Radio and get your printouts to be able to get yourself organized and ready to try all the tasty things.
We hope that this helped you pick out the things that you must do this holiday season if you're visiting. And if you're not, maybe this is enticing you to visit next holiday season. And if you want to do that, remember, either way, this year, next year, you get the best deals when you book through our partners at Getaway Today. You can do that. Plus, get our exclusive pricing when you go to getawaytoday.com/Castle Talk, and we will see you real soon.